What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Total Human Optimization Podcast. Lando here, and I'm here with two special guests, Mr. Isak Mayland from the Onnit Academy, and over here on my right-hand side, Mr. Gordon Johnson. Gordon, welcome to the show. How are you doing, man?
Thank you. Doing well. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Good
So
to be here.
you have an awesome story from what I hear from Eric over here. He talks about you a lot. He said, we got to get this guy in the podcast. He's going to inspire a ton of people. Eric, what is it about Gordon that just infatuates you so much as a client?
Well, first of all, Gordon has this heart, and you can see it while he's trying to do what you're telling him to do. So full intentional work is what I look for. And for a man like him, his full intention is always working. So whatever I give him, he's giving me full intention. And that works for him rather than against him. Sometimes when you're not really about what you're supposed to be doing, you kind of shy away from it. You're not getting the maximum benefits. The maximum effort's not there, the maximum results won't be available. So he understands fully for himself how to get things done and push himself organically. For me, I just have to make sure that I put together programs where he's able to keep doing that rather than exhaust him. So that's what really impresses me about him. And so other things like weight loss, muscle gains, all that, that's all, we're going to head that way anyways. But I just ultimately see that. And I think that's a powerful thing that Gordon has.
So, Gordon, hearing that, what goes through your mind? Because as we were talking about earlier, you're facing some physical challenges. And it's challenges that you're aware of and that you've had to deal with. So let's talk about that day where you came into the Onnit Academy and you decided you were going to make some changes.
I had decided that I just wasn't satisfied with if I was in a bad place, and if I was going to hurt, I'd like for somebody to beat up on me like Eric. I came in, and Ty and Eric met me out in the waiting room there, and I think Eric very quickly figured out what he had on his hands, because Ty wanted to give me a tour of the gym, and I said I can't walk that far. I'll have to rest somewhere. And so then they were going to do an assessment, and Eric's like, no, I got it. I got this figured out. I know what I got here. And Eric said, look, and I just, if you're willing to do it, let's go to work. And I signed up and said, let's go to it. And I was in here, I think, a couple of days later. And it started from the first when I think Eric could get me through 10 minutes worth of stretches and strength exercises. But he was always encouraging. He never pushed. I didn't know what to expect when I came in here. This is an elite bunch of people that y'all have here. The website shows that. I walked in, and it was real easy to look around and see, look, these people aren't goofing around. But from Eric and Ty on the first day, when they were very open to what my situation was, to everybody I've met here, the encouragement I've gotten from people in the gym, from people on the Instagram, from the Onnit's Instagram, the encouraging stuff that comes through is really motivating. But all that aside, it doesn't make any difference if I would just come in and was overwhelmed by everything. There's y'all have a lot of equipment here. Yeah, it's simple stuff that y'all do a whole lot of stuff with, but if Eric had taken me in there and made me start slinging steel maces and stuff, I probably would have lasted 2 weeks. It'd have killed me. But from the first day, the minute I walked in, it wasn't like he stood around thinking, okay, I'm real busy. Let me think what I'm supposed to do with this guy. I walked in, he's like, you ready to get to work? Let's go. And then it was, I didn't know it at the time. And I told him when he took me on, I said, I will do whatever you tell me to do. And whatever he told me to do, I tried to do the best. A lot of times, some of the stuff at the first, and he's got video of it that he took, putting my foot up on a box, things like that, that's sitting here today seem hard to remember, but I can remember it like it was yesterday. But he always knew what he wanted me to do. He had a plan for everything. I didn't ever ask him what we were going to do the next day. He no telling what he was going to throw at me, but that was fine. But it was probably 2 or 3 months in that everything I had was still hurting real bad, and probably if I hadn't made the commitment, it wasn't the financial commitment. Yeah, I bought whatever Ty told me, whatever the maximum number they would let me to buy, I bought them. I was committed to that. But it was a commitment I'd made. Eric and I had a commitment, and I don't know, he didn't know me, I didn't know him, but we developed that. And in December, I can remember being in a lot of pain, just had a bad spell. And had I not had that commitment, I'd have been one of the guys who didn't show back up in January.
Yeah. So that's a common trait to a lot of people, I think, that are facing an extreme challenge to change themselves in some fashion or way, where they hit that point where they decide, maybe this isn't for me, and they quit. So, what was going through your mind in those moments? Were you at a point in your mind where, like, maybe this isn't for me, maybe maybe I'm not gonna change?
Yes, I had doubt. I definitely had doubt, and Eric could sense it. I mean, because we talked about it. He could tell in some of those subsequent workouts that my head wasn't in it, that I was doubting my ability. And you do reach a point. You can reach a point where this is hard. And other things, some of my injuries weren't coming along as well as I hoped, and so that made it more difficult. But Eric saw that, and he worked through it. He incorporated it without me understanding it at the time. I know it looking back on it. I can see it clearly, but at the time I couldn't see it. He incorporated that into our workouts. He would change up what we were doing to do something that would give me confidence. He would change up what we were doing to work on an injury that he'd watch me when I walked in the room. He'd watch me when I walked out of the room. It's kind of creepy sometimes. But
Oh, you don't know Eric very well.
he'd be out there in the waiting room. He'd see me walk across the parking lot. I was telling Connor earlier, I used to park in the front spaces so I wouldn't have to walk as far to get in those front doors, even though it's only 15 feet difference to park on the back row. But he incorporated that. He figured it out. He knew what was going on. He backed off, or he'd push in the right direction. And then when I got the confidence back and was able to push through it, I would oftentimes, he heard me say a couple of times, I'm turning a corner. I felt myself turn a corner this week. It wasn't big things. From what he could see, he probably saw something I didn't know, but I could tell something was changing in me.
Mm-hmm. So, Eric, hearing that kind of thing, I'm sure this is something trainers go through a lot, where they're finding that their client is facing some kind of mental breakdown, or they're losing interest in everything, and maybe things aren't happening as fast as they want them to. So, what goes through your mind as a trainer, and what are the things you do to try to keep that client going?
Oh, that's a good one. So past experience, I usually have, I guess I'd say insecure clients that would never perform their best because they're too scared to. Either that, or they perform their best and they're scared that they went that high of a volume. And that fear kicks in. But as a trainer, I should be able to identify that. I should be able to identify what's freaking out my client with whatever volume of training I'm giving him or her. Now, there's trainers that don't do that. I've seen many trainers just spew you out and just give you, crazy training and call it a day, whereas they don't have to wake up in your body the next day to feel all that pain. So I have to take myself out of that element and really be about Gordon and his body. So what I have to do is I have to watch him when he parks, eat my food, and say, when is he coming out? All right, he's coming out. Let's see how he's walking.
Hope you have good blinds in your windows at home.
He can't see me through this tint glass, and I'm watching him through the cafe. So he's walking in like he looks like he's doing great. He's pulling up his pants now because he's losing a lot of weight here. And I told him earlier to get some new clothes, so he got new clothes anyways. But the fact is I have to watch him, how he walks, how he talks as he's walking, how he, everything, every little bit where he's picking his nose. I don't care, whatever it is. I got to see where in his body is he feeling. I don't want to say imbalance. I want to say feeling like a no comfort zone. Like, I don't like to do this. I don't like to stand in this position because I feel uncomfortable, you know? And then I like to target that. Let's make what's uncomfortable, not comfortable, but manageable. So that way you're able to manage yourself through it. I mean, there's no such thing as being comfortable in a plank position.
Yeah.
I don't understand
For anybody.
that. Yeah, I don't understand that. So when someone says be comfortable in your plank, I'm like, you got to explain that to me because I don't understand. So all this is happening with Gordon, and I just I see results big time because one, he comes in super insecure, and I remember like he remembers it the first day, he had very very, he had panics. He panicked a lot. So once you start panicking, it's really hard to tell the client to slow down.
What is exactly the panic? What is the panic going on? Is it you're scared, that you're gonna have a heart attack or something, or what is the panic?
It's some of it's at the first, until Eric and I got to know each other, it was the fear of what he described a moment ago. Is this guy gonna tell me to do some stuff? I've committed. I'm gonna do what you tell me to do. Is he about to tell me to do a bunch of stuff I'm gonna wake up in the middle of the night? I don't mind pain, soreness. That's what comes with it. But where he's broken my body, because I'm one of 25 people he's working through that day, and he's just going through whatever is in his mind that day. It's a panic about, am I going to be able to do what he asked me to do? Am I going to be focused enough? Can I focus enough on something that's very difficult to perform what he wants me to do so that he can get out of me what he needs to get out of me so that he can help me get better? I mean, there's some of it, a lot of it sounds like it's a panic around failing at it, but it's when starting out like that, it's just a panic of, I'm broken. Is this guy going to break me some more, or am I going to get better?
So it's a trust issue with your
trust
trainer.
issue, yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, so in that respect, have you had past trainers that put you in that mindset?
Yes, I have. Over the years, I've had, when I've been in periods where I've done CrossFit, I've done the gold stuff, and every time because I'm 6.5 feet tall and I can lift a house. I used to stick my arms in engine blocks and carry them at the ranch because that's what my dad said, move the engine blocks.
All right,
that's
that
kind
crazy.
of stuff. So it's not like I'm not used to hard work or lifting stuff. And they look at you and they're like, okay, this is a horse. I'm going to work him like a horse. And I can do that for a while, but eventually it breaks me. And that's what's always happened. It's injury, and then the injury leads to me inactivity, and then it creates the same cycle. So, yeah, based on prior experience, I didn't have that fear of Eric because of what we talked about, because he was very clear in our first meeting training session. He was very clear about how we were going to do things and what his theory is on doing stuff. So that made me feel better because I didn't walk in and him say, okay, there's a bunch of heavy shit, go pick it up, which is basically what I'd had before. So, but the communication that he had to this day, I mean, we've been together, not together, but we've been working together for coming up on a year. And last week he was explaining to me why we were doing what we were doing and what we were leading to 6 weeks out from now, 4 weeks out from now, and what he wanted to see.
And I think that breaks the fear when you plan and you let them know exactly what they're doing, so they're able to do it with intention. So they know what's to say, like, this is great for your shoulder mobility if you put the greater intention into this work, because this is going to allow you to have more range for strength, new strength. You know what I mean? So you're going to need that. And so for him to understand that, there's no fear. It's just now focused, and fear is not even there anymore. But another element that I took Gordon through is more of a challenge your fear even more program. It's boxing. So you want to do boxing. So boxing is one where you you're not fearing what I'm going to do. You're fearing that you're going to mess up.
Yeah.
You're going to mess up or not get things right, or you're in bad position and you don't want to be screamed at by the pad holder. Gordon graduated towards boxing, basic boxing. And the reason why I say graduate is because he's been performing and he's been optimizing. And we've always gone through stages where we come back together and say, now you've hit the point where you can do this now and that,
Right.
So when he first started, he couldn't even walk across the gym. Now he's on an assault bike after boxing.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is crazy. Like I always say, believe in your crazy idea. And I stick to that because it's not crazy that it's bad. It's just crazy that it's good, And so for you to keep up with that work, with that heart that I was talking about in the beginning, that's going to help create you and mold you more. So it's awesome to see him transition and graduate into boxing, something that's just high level cardio. And I've been pushing this guy to the point where now my shoulders are starting to feel it a little bit. He's like pushing punches in me really hard.
Well, he was lifting engine blocks for crying out loud.
Yeah. But before they used to be little taps,
Little love taps,
little touchy there. Like, whoa, this is pads here, but you got to touch these things. So he's throwing them in there when I tell him to, and I'm a little scared for his punches. But I mean, it's just seeing his strength level at where he's at. He's more confident and everything, and I'm sure he could tell you all that. He's his whole switch into his feeling, his mood, and everything else. He's been supplementing himself with Onnit products, and that's been a huge help for him.
Yes.
It's been helping him stay focused in the fight for his body back. And I can't stop recommending that to everybody. Like, hey, take the Onnit supplements and, start your training.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to choose from. I looked on it. I looked on the website, but Eric was able to tell me, this is what, do this, do use this stuff, and it is until you do it, you don't understand it.
Yeah.
How important it is.
So along with all this, has there been a diet change that you're following as well?
Well, when I started, Aubrey and Whitney met with me and asked me how I'd usually dieted, and it took them 15 seconds. I remember Aubrey was sitting right there, and he was like, "Okay, yeah, you've been doing it all wrong. They've been telling you wrong. You got to change it up." And they gave me not a plan, but Whitney worked up to teach me how to change to get to the natural, the organic, to the
Some
fats.
principles.
Right. And which and Aubrey could have said, he said, "I could have told you before you sat down, you've been starving yourself. They've been telling you to starve yourself your whole life." I'm like, "Well, yeah, that's," so yes, and that's been a big change that I've made. I've lost about 50 pounds since I started, which is what I've always done before for weight loss. Besides just doing it wrong, eating wrong, and not eating healthy, was I did was simple. Was I'd go on those liquid diets, fast, whatever you call them, 500 calories a day, drop a pound a day. 3 months later, I'm down 100 pounds. Great, I look like I'm in high school again. But I don't have to tell y'all. Y'all know that you're not healthy. You're nothing's gonna work. You're gonna get injured, which is always what happened. Tie that together with a trainer who is having you lift stuff that you shouldn't be lifting because you haven't built up the basics. You're headed towards a cycle of failure. So, but the combination of what Aubrey and Whitney did for me in conjunction with what Eric has told me which products to use to fold into the system has made me the energy level. And it's not, and I know it's not all just because I've lost weight and I'm doing more cardio and things like that. I know the cycle, and it wouldn't be that way. It's the whole package. And again, it goes back to, Eric tells me, try this, try that. I'd trust him. He could tell me whatever he wanted me to do now, and I'd do it. But I also trust him not because, he tells me what we're doing and why we're headed that way, but you can tell that he's given thought. Like I said before, I'm not one of 25 people that he's going to have, or 100, or however many people he has to take care of in a day. I'm different from the person he's going to see after me and the person he sees before me. And I know that whatever he's telling me, somebody's giving it some thought. He's talked to somebody. He's thought about it. I know he's talking to people around here about it all the time. He brought Andrew Craig in one day, and I was like, hell no, I'd keep him away from me. I don't
You
want
guys in the UFC, get out of here. I ain't getting past that guy.
he had me train with Todd Duffy one day, and I was like, "You got to be out of your
UFC
mind."
fighter, yeah.
What do you? And Todd was a nice guy. Of course,
Yeah.
somebody asked me, "Well, are they really nice?" I'm like, "Well, they can kill you with a finger. Of course, they're nice. Why they don't need to be mean."
I think it's really cool that, you know, you come in and you're like, "Well, this gym is super intimidating." Didn't know what you're gonna get out of it. I mean, you could have went to like some other gym and they could have just gave you a runaround or whatever, but you came here and you chose to stay at this intimidating gym, and what you get to see are superstars around you, and you have no idea because you don't pay attention to that on TV. Yet I let this guy know about these guys. It's
man.
intimidating.
Have you ever tried
yeah.
to bench press next to the Undertaker? It's not easy.
That's not easy. It's not fun, you know, when you're like, yo, I'm supposed to be strong too, you know? But at the same time, you also have these UFC fighters, and they're coming in, seeing you, talking to you. Daniel Jolly is another one, the Texas Werewolf.
Jolly,
and the fact that you have this going around you and people are conversing with you, not everybody gets that at a gym.
No.
And the fact that these guys are interested in you, you see, and so I think that's where, like I said in the beginning, your heart, the level of how you present yourself and perform takes it to another level. You're on this. I put you on Instagram on Onnit Academy, and you blow up with comments. Like people are just saying, "You got to put him on a podcast. Why are you guys not doing that? People want to know his story. They want to hear Gordon. You guys put on these videos with music over it, and he's doing stuff. We want to hear him. You know, like we want to hear the testimonial." And so here he is today, and I'm really proud of you because of. We know where your health was before, and we see where your health is now. I don't have to tell you that. You feel that, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, so a lot of times when people make these great changes and they're starting to see results, besides just the body thing, the body feeling better, all those benefits start echoing out across your life in all other facets and all other forms.
Oh, yeah.
You know, what are some of the things that you're seeing improve in your life? Maybe with relationships with friends, family, or sleep even. You know, how does that impact your general just daily being outside of working out?
It has been a huge change, even probably greater than the physical change has been that part. I have people who I've known my entire life. I have people that work for me, people that I work with, who over the last 4 months, 5 months particularly, have come to me and said, "You're back. I don't know where the hell you went, but thank God you're back because you hadn't been with us for the last 2-3 years." The people that are close to me know that this is what this is in my schedule and it doesn't get changed. I don't know in almost a year, I think maybe I've had to change 2 workouts with Eric.
And you hate that.
And I mean, when it happens, somebody better have a really good excuse in my office because
Throws a wrench in your whole day.
Yeah.
It throws a wrench in everything. Yeah,
they're fixing to somebody's going to get their ass chewed out. But but it is my priority, and people close to me know that, and they can see. This last week, I had some people that I hadn't seen in like a year and a half, who said, "I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it because you're back." A lot of what I do is mental, so when the mental part slips, it affects my productivity, but also people can pick up on it very quickly because that's what I'm basically do for a living is use my head. So, yes, my wife she's much happier because she knows I'm healthy on my way to, she knows I've got a long road. This is the first time I've ever taken the time. I told you before I did the liquid diets, 90 days, 6 months into something, a lifestyle change. I was broken and I was back in the cycle. Here we're almost a year. I haven't focused on the weight loss. I focused on being healthy. Eric told me that at the start. He said, we'll take care of the weight loss. It'll take care of itself. We'll take care of that later. But yes, the mental part, sleeping better. Used to sleep an hour or so at a time. Now I can sleep usually because I'm exhausted because he's made me chase him around the room for 30 minutes.
Let's add on body language too. You used to walk with a limp.
Yeah.
You used to walk like it hurt, and you used to walk with no confidence. You walk not just with confidence. You walk in so loose that you just, hey, I don't know if you guys remember the Conor McGregor walking the octagon with his arms just all flimsy,
Yeah.
but that's how you walked in. You walked in real confident. So, and I like seeing you like that because that just tells me all the stress that you go through in your head with your work, it's not even in your head right now, and you're ready to just let that go. So that's very awesome.
Yeah. Eric let me work out by myself for the first time yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
So there was a lot of people
let
watching
him
through the
play.
glass because they were real worried. They were like, if he screws up something, we're not going to be able to get a truck in here to get him out of here. But
Yeah.
there was a lot of very strong people watching me through the glass.
I
to make
think
sure
it was more of, oh my God, he's working out like crazy here. Let me get my camera.
I made sure to do it best as I could, as if Eric was standing there, making me do it.
You have anything to say to the Onnit Instagram, Onnit Academy Instagrammers that's been asking me to put you on podcasts? You have anything to say to them?
Well, I would say that I didn't know anything about Instagram before I got here. When Eric first showed me a video, I thought he was I saw him videoing me, but I thought he was videoing me so he could show me my improvement. I didn't
No, he
realize
just
was
videos
putting-
everyone all the time for no reason. He has unlimited space on his phone for some reason. I have
Apparently so, 'cause he'll take-
no reason.
He'll set that phone up and not pick it up for the whole time. But I learned what it was, and my son had to tell me how to get on there and figure it out. The Onnit universe, the Onnit support system, the comments from day one. I mean, again, this is an intimidating place. Like I said, I told Aubrey, like, it ain't what your website wasn't making me feel friendly. But everyone in here has always been great, and it extends. Whatever it is y'all put out goes throughout your Instagram followers and your universe, because there hadn't been anybody in there dogging on, and not that anybody, but it's a pretty mean world out there. They say, hey, that's an old fat guy, get him the hell off of here. Put up, somebody skinny that's doing something. The encouragement from people I'll never meet, don't know. I recognize many of their names now on Instagram because they've been constant. But for a year almost, for people to stay up with what I'm doing and to notice. There's been comments on there about how better I am now at throwing a punch than I was 3 months ago or whatever.
A lot of angry comments about me.
People be mean to you?
Yeah. Hey, I mean, they want this guy here talking about this. So
Oh, yeah?
the fact that I'm able to do this for you guys, I hope I get an A in your book because I feel like I've been carrying an F in my pocket the whole time. But
Make some nice comments to Eric so he can do it. But so he'll keep doing it. But it's been. But I can't. There's not been anybody in this place. Yes, it's intimidating. It's still intimidating to me. I walked in today and there was a bunch of stuff going on that's usually not going on when I walk in, and incredible athletes doing stuff. But I've never had anybody look at me like, what the hell are you doing in here?
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's because they're scared of him, with his ninja maces, and he's going to come cut them or something, or what. But
they're just scared of that small room. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think you mentioned you have a son.
yes, sir.
And so is he starting to get into the same style training? What does he think about your advancement?
Well, he actually one of his friends found me on the Instagram
Okay.
and told him about it before Eric. I think I came in and said, "What's this Instagram thing you're doing?" And it wasn't long into it, but yes, my son he started working out here in January, and I talked to him, and he saw what I was doing just in 2 or 3 months and the change it had in me, and I was telling him the things I was doing. He was doing the usual thing with his buddies, Gold's Gym, or their parking lot, or their garage at one of their houses, and he's a big guy. He's about 6'7".
Takes my classes.
Takes his and he loves his classes.
His name is Reed Johnson, and Reed gets inspired by his dad. I remember the first time he took my classes, it was just for like fitness, but he's been seeing what his dad's been doing with boxing. All of a sudden, he's starting to want to be in that boxing realm.
How old is he?
25.
25?
And you know what's funny is ever since he did that, what did you guys do at the lake house, your lake house? You guys did some pad work together, didn't you? Yeah.
He went out and bought pads.
See?
And he got gloves when he saw me doing it.
Right.
And he started taking some of your striking classes. And So yeah, we were up there, and he said, "Hey, I got these pads. Let's do some pad work." And we were out in the grass with him, throwing pad. He does throw some hard punches.
He does throw some hard punches, but I mean, the fact that we can reach out more than just fitness and get your family to be involved, it just makes it more powerful. Like it's crazy.
Oh, it is. And now my wife's here.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You have the whole family here.
Yeah, my wife's now, she came in about a month or so ago, and she works with Christian.
Yeah, Christian, he's
And,
good durability coach.
And Reed comes and does small classes, large classes, does it on his own. He was in here one day this week on his
Hard
own.
worker,
doing
just
some
like
stuff.
you.
And and I hope that he loves it. And he works, his day is built around it, even at 25, around work and some other stuff, outside classes he's doing, studying. This is a priority for him. And if he doesn't get it, he's not a happy kid.
Yeah.
Well, now if you see like, okay, I have a man or let's just not say you. Let's just say someone else. I got somebody who's super unhealthy and they're on the verge of a deathbed. Okay, and then all of a sudden that son or daughter has to see that, and then all of a sudden that person goes through the changes and becomes stronger and better and healed in a sense, fixed. That son or daughter is going to be like, I want to go that way too.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like the most promising of science in evolution, like just to see it. Like I see this is happening. I don't want to go the opposite way. Mm-hmm. And so for your son to see that, and I think and I could be wrong, but I would see it that way if I had my father, go through those changes or whoever. Like it doesn't have to be you, it doesn't have to be anyway, it's just anybody. Because, I had a mother who's been sick because she's taking care of 2 kids, wild, and she's an immigrant. She doesn't have a job. We're in a Section 8 housing. So she's stressing out. So I know how it is for someone who is unhealthy mentally to be super healthy mentally now because of hard work through her physical work into clearing her mind, getting back on track. So I totally understand that route. So I think therefore, I believe anybody who can witness that it really speaks volumes to them. I really truly believe that.
I'm sure it does,
Yeah. So to the listeners that, maybe they have somebody in their family or maybe it's themselves that might find themselves in a similar position where they're not feeling good every day. They're not confident in themselves to take themselves to that next level of physical fitness. What are some words and advice you to give to those people?
I mean, if you're in Austin, get over here to Onnit. Get in here and see these people. Get off the couch. Get out of the bed. Get out of the chair, whatever it is. You're going to feel better. You can feel better. There is a way to do it. You don't have to hurt. You don't have to live that way. If you're somewhere else and you're not around here, find some place like Onnit, and is in your area, and get up and do it. You can do it. It's the mental part is the hardest part. The physical stuff you can bring along, but breaking that mental of it's easier for me to sit here and hurt than it is for me to get up and go somewhere and do the unknown and face your fears, as Eric talked about, the fear of the unknown, the panic that you need to face and work your way through. With the right help, you can do it.
Right. And as a coach, trainer, I would recommend anybody that's going to a gym, like how you're recommending people now, that if you are going to a gym, that you understand not just the trainer, but you understand the system of what they do. Because if you're broken and you're going into a trainer who's very well known in the community, but only does strength work, but doesn't do any recovery, you have to be able to identify that first before you start going in the gym. If you are broken, you cannot pick up weights. You have to research the gym system first. So when you talk to trainers, you just ask them what their system is like. If they don't give you an answer, you don't go to that gym. You have to ask your questions very thoroughly to trainers about what they can do for you. You can't just say, what can you do for me? But you have to say, what is it that you're going to do for me? List. Give me a list of what are the results. So I want you guys to not be bamboozled, but to really, not even bamboozled, but go to the wrong spot with the wrong choice, but to think about the system of what the trainer's delivering primarily at their gym.
And if you don't know that, I can say from experience, I still do this to this day. I subscribe to all y'all's channels, and I watch. Yes, I do a lot of Eric stuff to make sure I'm doing it right the next time I come in. But I watch Cameron's. I don't do any of Cameron's stuff. Couldn't do any of it probably. Christian stuff he does. Through that I can learn, because in our case Eric incorporates much of that stuff into what we do. Particularly at the start, I remember having Christian come in a couple of times. He was watching me because you were taking me through stuff.
Yeah, and you're talking about the on-demand Onnit Academy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
the
online,
On Demand.
right.
Yeah, is that the name? On Demand. Okay.
Yeah, On Demand.
Yeah, that academy. I did the package where you get all the channels, so I get to see what Eric's doing and what Isik's doing, what Juan's doing, all the whatever the programs are they're working on, which is educational. Interestingly, I mean, I could come in and just ask Eric, "Hey, I saw this. What is it?" But on all those channels, they explain why they're doing it. So
yes.
it may give you a basis to ask those questions, so that you know if somebody's bamboozling you or just is going through the, checking the box.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, guys. Gordon, thanks for coming in, man. I
Thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
me. I appreciate it.
And do you have an Instagram now?
He doesn't have
apparently,
it.
but I don't
We're gonna have to work
You
on
have
that.
to get an Instagram
He
now.
does
Now,
have- he
now
does have-
everybody's gonna want to follow you. Now I can't even get a screen name
Just
out
follow
there.
Isik.
Well, he does have a hashtag that he's taking over. There's a lot of Gordon Johnsons out there, okay? But he's the only Gordon Johnson that's capitalizing on that hashtag. So if you guys go to Gordon Johnson, you guys can scroll through all that, all the feeds to see where he's at and his history and all that. So until then, doesn't have one, and he'll get one. But I'll make an announcement on that for sure.
Yeah, and I think you can probably check out the Onnit Academy Instagram. There's two Onnit Instagrams. There's an Onnit and there's an Onnit Academy. Onnit Academy, we share more the fitness side and all the cool stuff that Eric's doing, along with our other trainers. And I think Gordon has been a star of that Instagram many a time. So,
All the time.
So you can check out that one. And Isik, sorry, I could call you Isik on
No,
a
Isik's fine.
on a normal basis.
Yeah.
What's your Instagram again?
It's going to be eSig831. So try not to get it confused with e-cig, like electronic cigarette. I think my boy Cowboy calls me that a lot. But ESIK831, and you can check out what I do. You can check out what Onnit Academy is about as a whole with Onnit, and you'll see that it's a very super powered, healthy lifestyle. So don't be afraid for something that's going to be a great positive thing in your life.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks, Gordon. Thanks, Eric. Everybody, make sure to check out the website, onnit.com. Go to onnit.com/academy. We have articles that teach you a lot of these things that we were talking about today, all the workouts. And then we have the on-demand channel as well, where if you're not in Austin, you can get the same workouts that Gordon does and a lot of our clients do right here. And that's I should know that freaking URL, man. What is that URL? Is it
It's going to be
on-demand.onnit? What is it?
Yeah, it's going to be ondemand.onnitacademy.com. Or the other way. But
It's tough to remember.
Yeah, it's something to remember, though.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. Just go to google.com and type in Onnit Academy on demand.
There it
You
is.
will find it. Until next time, everybody, take it easy, keep pushing hard, and live that total human optimization. Later.
Later.